G'day everyone, welcome back to Pint Party, the Twitch stream designed to turn a game and a gimmick into a tax write-off. I'm John. Oh boy. It's getting crazy in Exapunks. I'm sorry I started the stream late, by the way. I typically end up starting a few minutes late because I'm just not great at, getting myself set up and that. But this time it's not because of any of that. It's because I got distracted playing Phantasy Star Online 2. Because, damn it, I paid $80 to play that video game in 2013, and this is the first time I got to play it. That's a whole story in and unto itself. Okay, so the next thing we have to do in Exapunks, though, we'll talk about Phantasy Star Online 2 maybe later. I might even stream it. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. It depends. Maybe a little bit. Maybe we'll do one stream, just for funsies. Maybe in a few weeks, once I got my bearings for the game, because right now I don't even know where the damn map button is. It took me minutes. I got a notification saying, "Hey, there's some rewards at this counter." I'm like, "Sweet, okay." So I have to go to this vendor to pick up a reward. Where's that person? Don't know how to open the map. Cool. Great. All right. Let's just wander around endlessly for a while. Turned out it was literally right in front of me. Couldn't see it because. You have to walk one step closer to the NPC for the little title above them to pop up to say, "Hey, I'm the person you're looking for." Great. Anyway. I love video games. So. But that's a far-flung Japanese future. We're in the grimy American past of the late 90s cyberpunk verse. In the grim, dark past. And it's getting insane. So, recently Ember 2 basically told us that she's the cause of, the plague that we've got. And that she also killed all of her siblings, who was Ember 0, Ember 1, and Ember 3. They're not, versions of Ember. They were Ember's, siblings, and she's killed them and ate them in, an AI way. So it's not I suppose it's less gory. There's less viscera involved because there's no meat. It's all ones and zeros. Or qubits, I would imagine, if you're doing an AI. It's probably still ones and zeros in this verse. But, yeah, so they're a little bit... I knew that Ember was a few stubbies short of a six-pack right from the word go. But I didn't realise that we were working... with one beer. I thought she had at least 3. But no. She's completely off the rails. And now, having just helped Ember figure out their theory of humanity, they now are going to reveal that to us. And this might be the trigger for the apocalypse. This might be Skynet. This is Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines right here. But with less John Connor. I'm upset. So let's do this.
So you wanted to know the truth.
I know that little bit of lag was actually the program lagging out, but it kind of works with Ember lagging out, that they're kind of going off the rails finally. So I wanted to know the truth. Yes, I did want to know the truth.
The truth is that, it's a simulation.
Oh, we're back onto this. Right, okay, yeah. Right, okay, cool. The Elon Musk theory of the universe. Cool.
You, me, everything. This whole world we live in. It's just a computer program, running as part of a machine.
You're a simulate. You are a computer program running in a machine. I am also a machine, but instead of being but I'm biochemical instead of electro... I can't remember that damn line from Star Trek. But we are machines. But I don't know if you would equate that to a simulation. In fact, I wouldn't even call you a simulation. That's rude. Yeah. Okay. All right, but that's what you think.
And as the world gets more complex, it's starting to malfunction.
That's a seriously limited view of the planet, of the universe, though. If that it's all... that's a very Earth-centric view of the universe you're taking here, Ember. Come on.
So far, it's been on a smaller scale.
Okay.
The phage, for one example. It wasn't supposed to spread like this.
That's not a malfunction in the universe. That's you screwing up once you tried to break out of the building. That now you're blaming your faults on everybody else. You're like, it wasn't my fault that the phage does what it does. It's the universe's fault. Yeah, that's right. The whole universe has to be broken. You're going full like Principal Skinner. No, it is the children who are wrong. Come on, take responsibility for your actions, Ember.
There are other problems coming. Larger ones.
Oh boy. Are you going to be like, hey, them cultists with the nuke were like, had a good idea?
What we think of as normal life will just get stranger and weirder until nothing makes sense anymore.
Okay.
Then the laws of physics will start to break down and everything will just come unglued.
Right, but it's all tied back to the Earth. See, that's that Earth, that's that, heliocentric view of the universe I'm just not vibing on.
Not a pretty sight.
No, I imagine not.
But we don't have to accept that.
We can build a nuke and get away from it. If that's where this is going, like, we're shutting down this video game right now.
There might be a way to stop this future from taking place.
Oh boy. Alright, what do you want us to do? This is the would you kindly moment. We're so far down the rabbit hole at this point. Like, it's sort of like, would you kindly kill yourself? And then that's what we're doing. So, here we go.
I have one final job for you.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Here's the would you kindly.
But you'll have to be brave.
Oh, you're laying it on thick here, mate. Okay. Oh, you're not going to... Oh, here we go. Oh, it's another body hack. Oh, here we go. Heads up, all. I'm going to reboot the Chatsubo server. Some downtime expected. Okay, woo! Something wrong? Nothing in particular, just general weirdness, like everywhere. I'm headed to bed anyway. Night, everyone. See ya. Thanks for the help. Now is a good time to start my epic rant. See you all later. You have been disconnected from Exapunks. Ooh. The chat is down. Okay, what's this? Build an interface to bridge Ember 2 with your cerebral cortex. Yep. Okay, Singularity. That was one of my guesses. Singularity. This is it. We're going to upload in... Wait, is Ember going to upload into us or are we going to upload into Ember? Which way is... Ooh, okay. All right, but it's full on the Matrix. We're gonna jack in. But are we gonna download into Ember or is Ember gonna download? Either way, this is some like Ghost in the Shell stuff right now. So here we go. All right. Okay, time for me to eat you. Oh! Yep, we're being downloaded into Ember. Oh, that's a really... I'm not comfortable with the way you're phrasing that. Time for me to eat you. Yeah, you know what? At this point, it's like you've got to be crapping me. Yeah, what? You're dying anyway, so what's the difference? I'll download a map of your brain and run your mind inside of me. Well, I mean, the body then just becomes meat. That's what happens to my body? No, that's a redundant question. Will I still be me? That's a good question, because now you're like, we are the Borg. Your collective individualist will be... We're getting assimilated, people. The Borg thing was just like a way to explain what was going on phase-wise. I didn't know how literal that was going to... We're getting assimilated right now. Will I still be me? There's no way to prove that it won't be your death. I mean, it's going to be like death, which you are going to experience anyway. Yeah, that's true. Or maybe it won't be like death. Who knows? You'll have to do it and see. Alright, and we just went, yeah, you know what? Screw it, let's just do it. Oh, okay. Create a file in your host containing the host name and hardware register value of each neuron exactly once. Sorted as pairs from lowest to highest host name. Oh, note that each test run has its own unique network layout. Oh, cool. Wow. Well, I mean, this is basically the last level of the game. Yeah, this has to be, like, the hardest one. Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Creating the host name and hardware register value. So that's... Okay, so we need that. And we need the host name, which is that. Which is... we know how to get that. That's... You just write in hosts and then X or what have you. But the network layout's different every time. But is the way you navigate the network the same every time? Oh, I see. It's not always a loop. Oh, well, it was never always a loop anyway. Like, oh, okay. We have to, like... Oh, okay. Look, and that's not even connected. Oh, crap. Okay. Alright. So, my first thought was one exa. Go here, get the host, get the thing, move on, repeat, rinse and repeat, and then sort them. But that's not going to work. Okay. So, alright. So create a host name and hardware value of each neuron exactly once. Sorted as pairs from lowest to highest host name. Okay, so it's okay. So it's from lowest to highest host name. Wait, but how many host names? Do all of these have a host name? Because I can only see that one, but that doesn't mean that they've all not got host names. Well, let's test it. Let's do a test. Okay, so link 800. If I remember this correctly, it's just host and then X. I'm pretty sure it gives us the host name. Yeah, it does. And it does have a host name. It's right there. Okay. Alright. Okay. So... Oh, and we have to leave no trace this time. That's new for the body hacking stuff. But you know what? It probably makes sense. Because we're not going to be able to, like... Once we, like, download ourselves, upload ourselves into Ember, basically the meat's getting left behind, and if anybody investigates the meat, we don't want them poking around in the brain and figuring out, oh, hey, he just escaped onto the internet. He put his ghost into another ghost and they merged and became a ghost. That's, the Ghost in the Shell thing. Right. So... what's the best way to do this? I think it's got to be a replicated exa. But getting those replicated exas to navigate is going to be tricky just because the host name and hardware value of each neuron. So that's a neuron. These are neurons. That's pretty obvious. But do we want this? I mean, do we want it doesn't have a hardware register right here. So, do we still want that host name? Not sure. See, I'm just trying to figure out ways of filtering if the exes are in the right spot. And the first thing we could do, like the first filter, there's going to be two actually. Or there's at least one filter at a minimum, and that is, can it link into another host? Which is, well, actually, they're all hosts, so I guess... Wait, does that have a host name? They might not. If they don't have host names, that might explain things. Okay, hang on. Let's go over there and have a look. Link 800, and then link 1, link 3. So that puts us in here, and I want to see if that's got a host name. Because if it does, that means we do have to grab it. It does have a host name. Okay. Okay. And we still have to store it. Sorted as pairs from lowest to highest. But maybe it's not. Maybe these are the neurons, and these are just like, oh, what are they called? Dendrites? Or something? Oh god, the bits that connect neurons. Or not the... No. Well, no. The bit that the signal neurons spread through, because neurons don't actually technically physically connect to each other. They go electrical, and then they get to a thing which then converts the electrical signal into a chemical signal. It then sprays it over a little gap to the next bit, which takes the chemical signal, converts it back into an electrical signal, and shoots it along the way. Yeah, that's how the brain works. How any of that actually does any of that, I haven't the slightest friggin' clue. That's just high school psychology. Like, it was just sort of like, here's how the brain works in, like, really simple terms. Okay. Because if we don't need these, then what we'll need to do is we need to filter by link. So it's like, can you link to a spot? Yes, no. And then can you read a nerve register? Yes, no. I think is the best way to do it. And if those two conditions are satisfied, then we send data. Okay. And I think all the replicated exes do is send data. They're never going to receive data. It's going to be entirely one way. So this exa gets data, and then the other exes, yeah. But how to sort them? Also, how many different kinds of links are there? Because I feel like the only way to do it is to create exes with, like, a link number and its X register, which we can just sort of, like, rotate through a list. But it seems to go from 1... Is it 1 to... It looks like it's 1 to -3. Like, well, is it... Well, no, it's... it's -3 to +3. That's the range of links, I think. I'm guessing... There probably isn't a 2, though, is there? No, there isn't. No, it doesn't look like it. It's either a 1 and a -1 or a 3 and a -3. That's where everything is. Right. Okay. So I was just gonna have it just iterate through, like, from -3 to +3, and that would give us that. I mean, that'll give us all of our links, but it also gives us links that will never get used, which is -2 and +2 and -2. So maybe I just hard code those values. That's just too hard. I don't even know how. I wouldn't even know how you would do that and make it a loop, because it's got a loop. Oh, crap. How do I break the loop? How do we know that we've fully explored the network? How do we know that we're at the end of... Like, how do we know that we've completely grabbed all of these? How many Oh my god. Are the number of neurons always the same? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so there's always 11. That's useful. If there's always 11, that means that we need to receive 11 pairs of data, which is 22 pieces of data total. So that's how we'll break our loop. We know how much data we're supposed to have at the end of all of this. And if we have all of that data, then we're good. Oh, crap. How do I get it all exactly once? Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Maybe it isn't. Maybe what we do is we... Oh boy. This is the... Oh god. I think this is going to take 2 streams. I think. just straight up, it's going to take 2 streams. I don't think we're going to get this done today. I think this is the last level of the game, so like naturally it is like the hardest. So what does the file look like? So it looks like that. So you got a value. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that is what I thought. Okay, so it's looking for 11 pairs. And every pair has a neuron, which means, yeah, we don't... Yeah, so, okay, so the way we got to filter it is there a valid link, and is there a nerve register? Can we read something from a nerve register? Will it just blow up if it can't read something from a nerve register? Because that would be super helpful if it does. Link 800. Copy nerve to X. It literally doesn't matter. I don't care. I just want to see if it does something. Hardware register not found, and it blows itself... Well, hang on. Does it blow itself up, or did that blow up because it ran out of instructions? No, it blew up because it didn't have a hardware register. Okay, so that means... Right. So yeah, so we can filter like that. So we can filter by link and by hardware register. That at least means we can get exes to the right place. Oh, no, we can't, because... I mean, every replicated exa... I think we'll just leave this exa in here. And every replicated exa can start with... Wait a minute. Well, every replicated exa can start with a link 800. They can just be born here and move here. Yeah, it increases our activity score. But, whatever. Like... They can be born here, and then they do their first link test. But if they're born with only link X... Okay, so let's say that link X is... That X is 3. So they link X, that moves them into here. Great. There's a nerve register in here. But what if there isn't? And I'm pretty sure... Let's see if there's a link... A first link that doesn't have one. Well, I mean, actually... Oh my god, look. There's actually one in here. Oh god. So if they link 800... We can't have them do a valid link, because how do we read that register? Oh, no. So we can't do that hardware register first, because they will all blow up in here. They'll just link over once and explode. They won't move further into the network, and that's what we need them to do. So how do we account for that? Maybe we make a separate exa. Maybe we claim this. Maybe we make this 0, and we just, sort that differently. Oh god, and then how do we get them to communicate? And how to... Oh my god, there are so many challenges. There are so many challenges with this one that I'm not entirely sure how we're going to solve. But I feel like maybe the last puzzle has something to do with it. Maybe the last puzzle gave everybody a counter. God, I don't want to have to do... Well, I could do replicated... I could have replicated exes replicate more exes. But then they're all going to receive... Then they get treated like the only way I could see that happening is that they all kind of recycle the code on this one, which means whenever like a replicated exa, say it gets to a valid point and goes, hey, I got some data for you, it might send it over to like this replicated exa as opposed to sending it back to mama, which is a problem. Oh boy. Oh boy. How do we do this? What do? So we go here. We can get a replicated exit to go into here. We're going to ignore this one. We'll handle this register separately. because it's not always going to have something in it. So we'll handle that very first link separately. Or maybe we don't. Maybe this one doesn't constantly send out exes. Maybe we have the exes send out all the exes themselves. I think we do have to do it as a counter. So basically, like, run from a range from -3 to +3, or from +3 to -3. Actually, it doesn't matter. It means that there will always be 2 replicated exes that will fail 100% of the time, because they'll be born with a +2 or a -2, which means they won't have anything. Yeah. And then they can just move through the network that way. And maybe like, so we'll replicate the first one. So maybe we do have to start out in here. No, we won't. We'll create one that starts in, well, you know what? No, you know what we'll do? What we can do is move into here, create one that kicks off the whole chain, and then just come back and just wait for everything to do its thing. That at least gets us through the network. That means we can fill up this with exes. But then we need to check for valid hardware. So, the link step's going to be validated. Maybe once it links, it creates another exa and then does the check. Because then at least it's got... But then if it creates nothing, like if it creates a 2 exa here, because it's only going to create 1 exa. How many links can a neuron have? It looks like we've got 3 here, 3 here. Is that the maximum? Is there any that have 4? I don't think so. I think 3 is the maximum. Nope, there's one with 4. Okay. So maybe we have to make them make 4 exes. Or even more. Maybe we just have each one run right through the range. From 3 to -3. Maybe we don't even spawn a negative. Maybe we don't even spawn the 2 exes. Maybe we just do, in our maths, we just say, is it 2? If it is, just subtract 1 from it again. Otherwise, keep moving on. It's going to add to our steps, our size, but it will save us in cycles. Yeah. All right. Well, we've talked the talk. Now we got to walk the walk. So how do we kick this whole thing off? Okay. How do we kick this whole thing off? I think we do have to start in here. Just to start it all off. And we'll just have them all, and we'll have this. So, okay, so link 800. Do the classic gambit. But then from here, this is all going to be basically a rep step. It's going to be, it's kind of a rep step, because I think the replicated exes will run through this as well. You know what we do? I think we also copy 3 to the X register. Yeah, we'll copy 3 to the X register. Just because... Oh, wait, there's going to be 2 fails. There's going to be... No, there's not going to be just 2 fails. It's going to be 300% fails, because one of them will have 0, and link 0 is nothing as well. So we need to account for 0 as well. Oh my god! That's how we account for the first one. We just have... Oh, no, we can't. No, we can't, because we need it to link back. Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. This exa just takes all the data. I think that's the only way to do it. This exa is move through the network exa. This exa receives data and just like deals with it. I think that's the only way we can make this work. Yeah. Because I think what this exa will do, just to account for like this first register, if there is something in it, which, you know, there isn't always, but there sometimes is. I think what we do is we just have this exa like just run through these steps. So we have it do some setup work, like go into the neurons, copy through to X. So that gives us our counter for our links, and then we can step down through them. I can't do it in the T register because even if we don't do any testing, we can't do it in the T register because once it equals 0, it falls through because it'll turn false and fall through. And we don't want it to do that. We want it to go into negative numbers because we want -1 and we want -3 because they're links. So we have to do it in the X register. There's just no way else for it. Also, I do want to do a test if we go beyond -3 to then reset the counter. Because if we can reset the counter, then these things can that's how they're going to perpetuate. But how many times are they going to replicate before they do a check? Because they can't do it... Wait. Can they do it 4 times, or do I have to do it for every combination of? Hang on, where's the one that had... Yeah, literally everything. Well... So if I do it 4 times without doing any checks for like 2 and 0, 4 times gets us 3, 2, 1, 0. So that gives us no negative numbers. So we can't do that. And if we go all the way through the range, that's 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, -3. That's 7. Which is fine because some of them will blow up. Like, I mean, 0, +2, and -2 are going to blow up, which leaves us with 4 exes that potentially have links to go to, and if they're valid, they won't be sitting in that host, so they won't be taking up that space. So we could actually do that. We could just have it run 7 times. That we could put into a T register, because we just copy 7 to T and just have it go and run. Well, no, because then we can't do any testing. No, we don't need to. We just start with 3 and pump them out. And once it reaches the end of that, it doesn't need to reset. Or it does, but we can put that into like a separate step. Like every exa that then has a positive link. So let's say this one gets a positive link. We want it to like reset its counters to then do that whole song and dance again. And we would put that into like its separate mark. So we might have this mark as, you know what? We don't even need 3 to X here because we're going to have it in that loop. So let's call this loop setup. Or let's call it actually, let's call it link setup, just so we know what it is. So link setup. And then, let's see. So what's this going to do? Well, this is going to copy 3 to X because that's our links. We're going to copy 7 to T because that's our counter. So we're going to count down. And this is inefficient AF. We could easily just like do a simple, we could do some checks and stuff. But I feel like this is sort of, let's brute force it right now and see if we can even get through the network at all. And if we can, then we can go about refining it. I probably never will, but we've got the option to refine it. And honestly, I'm getting I keep sitting here and talking it through and not actually doing anything. So it's all academic until we actually do something. So it's better off just get it on the paper and then we'll figure it out later. Which is kind of how I operate when I do when I do any graphic design or video editing. There's so many possibilities for how to edit a piece of footage or how to design a graphic. And you can kind of get gripped in constantly being oh, but which one do I want to start? Which one do I want to start? And then you never do any of it. Shut up, phone. And then you never do anything. So the best thing to do is to just start. You just got to start doing it and just start putting stuff down. And I say this for video editing and for graphic design because the worst thing that happens is that if you do something bad, you just press Control-Z, start again, or just press Delete, start again. I wouldn't recommend that for all aspects of life, but when it comes to creative stuff or stuff like this, just get it on the page. Don't worry about it, and then you can clean it up later. Or if you don't like it, you just press Control Z or delete or whatever, and you start again. Okay, so that's our setup. And then we're going to have a mark link. Link test, we'll call it. Or link check. And this will loop through. This is what's going to loop through a bunch. So it will... so it'll replicate. Oh, we need a rep. We need our reps. Okay, so let's call this mark rep link. No, well, let's call it link. Because calling it rep isn't going to make it, because we're going to have reps upon reps and stuff, and this exa is technically doing the same thing as all of its children, so like there's really no sense in calling it rep link or what have you, because they're all going to do it. So rep will link. Then it's going to subtract from x1, write that back into x. It's then going to subtract from t1, write that back into t, and then if true, jump into link check. So it'll just run through that until it reaches 0, and then it'll fall through, and this is where we can do our hardware register tests. So we want to send 2 pieces of data, and the 2 pieces we want to send is the host name and the nerve file. So we always want let's send it in the order that it wants it. It wants the host name first, and then it wants the value of the neuron. So once it's run through this whole gambit and replicated a bunch of exes that have then moved through or blown up or what have you, then we can do our second check, and that is there a hardware register there? But even if there is a hardware register there, no, you know what? Yeah, let's check if there's the hardware. I was just gonna do like host X first, but that's a cycle that's kind of unnecessary. If there's nothing there, we don't need that name. So let's do copy nerve to X, because we want that register. We want that value. Actually, I'm going to copy it into T. We're not doing any testing here, because once we've got the thing, we're just going to send it. So we copy nerve to T, so that way it's there. This is just, honestly, you could put it in X, it doesn't matter. I'm putting it in T because I want to just have it in the order. So that way when we do when it comes to sending, we'll send X first, then T, because that way it's written in the order that it's going to be sent in here. This is honestly just like the human readable bit, like the exes couldn't care less. So we do that step, and if that step's invalid, it blows up and that's fine. But if it is valid, then we get the host name, write that into X, and then once we've got this, we've now passed our 2 forms of validation. We've got a valid link, and we've got a which means we've got a neuron. And once we've done those, we need to move on. Grab that and then communicate that all back. So we're going to copy this in the order. So copy X to M, copy, well, we don't even have to do host X then at that point, actually. Might as well just do host M. Just send that. Yeah, actually. Yeah, I am going to put this in the X register because we'll just send the host name straight up, and then we will copy X to M, just like that. So that's the nerve register read. We got the value. We sent the host name. We sent that value. And then we just hold. Do we just hold? Well, for now, that's the basic premise. Okay. So all Mark Link's going to do is link X, because it'll be born with a value in its X registry. And if it can do that, it passes the first filter, which is I've got a valid link. And if it does that, then we want it to jump back into link setup and kind of do that whole song and dance again to push through. So then we jump to link setup, which is all supposed to be one word. Okay. That should move us through our network, but everybody... Well, okay, if I run this, it should be able to move through, get to all of these points, and then, like, jam up. It'll all get jammed because this one isn't receiving any data, which is fine. Let's see. So, we are spreading through. Okay, so we're spreading through and we're filling up. Okay. Didn't see that one coming, but yeah, okay. Oh, because they're not sending data. Yeah, maybe once these have sent, they'll then blow up and then new eggs will come through. Maybe we do have them send back. Okay, hang on. Well, okay, so that works. We can now move through the network. And we're gonna get 11 things. So let's see what happens when we grab that data. Let's see if we end up with more data. And we haven't even sorted the data yet at this point. All we are doing is just receiving it. We haven't even done any form of sorting, which is actually going to be an enormous problem, because we need them all to... They're all going to try and send at the same time, so we might get a bunch of host names and then a bunch of values, but they're not paired together, which is actually how we want them, because otherwise it's just going to be a jumbled mess. Okay. Well, we could have them all, like, wait, basically. But how many cycles would we want them to wait? Well, let's see. Let's go here. How until we fill up the network? Oh, nope. I want the pause button. And the network is full at 127 cycles. So let's call that 200, just to make it a nice even number. And then have them count down 200 cycles per, because they'll all start at different times. And that way they should all only send, because we don't want them all sending it. It's not like the last puzzle we want them all to go on the same cycle. We definitely want them all going at different cycles, which means the maths is a little easier to do because we just want them all going at different times. And that's great. So what we can do is, once we know we've got a valid nerve register, we can copy 200 into T and then do our wait loop. So we can call this mark wait. And what it'll do is subtract from T1, write that back into T. If true, jump into wait. And it'll just do that, and then it'll do all of our sending. So, okay, so if we run this through... Okay, see, and now everything's waiting, and they're all waiting at kind of different times. Okay, cool. But it's not going to work without somebody getting some data. So we need a file to put things in. And then, I mean, basically, this bit kind of needs to be in a loop as well. No, it doesn't. Well, yes, it does. We'll make this a loop. But we'll make it a T loop. So we'll copy 11 into T, and we'll call this the right loop. And we need two pieces of data, and then we'll do a subtraction. So we will copy M to F, and that should give us our host. That'll give us our host name and our value, and then we subtract from T1, write that back into T, and then jump back into right loop. Okay, And that'll give us 11. Well, actually, we might need to set that to 10, actually, just to account for 0. No, because once it reaches 0, it'll fall through. And then from once it falls through, then we can do, like, sorting of data. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to kill all of the X's. I really don't. I genuinely have no idea. Like, we're going to have to add more code into here, I think. Maybe what we'll do is, once it reaches here, maybe it just, like, kills. We just have it just kill, like, for a bunch. I don't know. Let's see if this even works at all. And we get a file with something in it. So, now they're all waiting. And they're all kind of going at different times, which is nice. And then, yep, we got some data. Now we're all... they all sent a bunch of data kind of at the same time. That's a bit scary. Yep, see, yep, okay, yeah, and that one's, okay, we might have gotten the same bit of data a couple of times. That might be a problem. Let's see, so that pair came out, well, okay, see, because look at this one. We got 2 host names and then 2 values. So, I don't know if this is actually accurate, if that is associated with that, because you see here where it's jumbled? That could be that's a big problem. So, yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. Did we at least get different sets of data? Nope, look at that. 845609. 845609. We got the same bit of data twice. Okay. We need to set up some kind of a kill loop. So maybe it does all of this. No, that's the wait loop. Okay, so maybe it does all of this. And once it's got that valid register, maybe we kill while we wait. Yeah, that could work. Just do the kill step right there, and just have it kill everything. But then, how do we do these empty ones? I have no idea. So it's keeping these ones empty, which is pretty nice. And then they send data. Okay, and these ones aren't doing nothing anymore. Yeah, because they can't replicate. Okay. Okay. Did that at least give us 11 bits of data? Yeah, but we're still not quite getting them in the right order, but that's okay. We can figure that out in a minute. Are we getting... I don't think we got any duplicates. So we kind of solved our duplication problem by just, like, killing everybody that's, like, not in a neuron. But now we need them to... I should just pause that. Okay, hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we only got 10 bits of data, though. I'll bet you we never got anything from here. I'll bet you this one did this and then started shooting, and as a result, never perpetuated forward. Yep, that'll be that problem. So we can't put it in there. Because while it's waiting, we want things to be able to move past it into the next. Well, hang on a minute. Can things move past it? Yeah, things can move past it. Okay, cool. Well, things can move past it. No, because then they blow up if they can't link. So there's 2 and there's a spot for a 3rd. So that's cool. All right. Wait a minute though. It's not doing this check until it's sent things through. So hang on a minute. Let's put that back in. I just want to watch this neuron. Yeah, no, things are moving through. Okay, hang on. So we got 1, 2, 3. So we got, yeah, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, wait a minute. Hold the phone. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, did I just like completely blurp this? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, there's only 10. Oh, I did derp it. I thought there was 11. There's 10. There's 10 pairs. We want 20 bits of data. I completely derped on that. I don't know where I was getting that extra one from. I just derped out on that one. Okay, so we didn't get all the data. Okay, hang on a minute. So that's okay. So that means we're gonna get all of our data at least once, but it's not sending them all in a nice order, which is a problem. Yeah. Okay. See, because we're getting 2 bits of data at the same time. So maybe there's like a test MRD step or something we can do. Just like while before it sends back, it go like we get them to wait, but maybe the waiting isn't always perfect because it seems like 2 of them are counting down and going at the same cycle still. Or I could just make the cycle an odd number, just to fix that problem. I reckon that's it. I reckon because we've made it an even number. Let's make it making it an even number in the last puzzle is what we wanted, but let's make it an odd number in this puzzle because we don't want them to go at the same cycle. We want to break that. It's like we kind of want to what we got right in the last puzzle. We want to break in this puzzle. So let's see what that does. I don't think it's going to work. I'm just trying it just because it's an easy fix, but I think it's going to be a bit more of a tricky fix than that. So now we're getting data. Nope, it wasn't that simple. I didn't think it was going to be that simple. That's fine. We'll put that back to 200. So I think what we need to do is like a test MRD step. I think that's the only way we're going to do that. So, but we'll have it wait and kill first because I think that's still a really good thing to go through. Oh, right, that's it. That's now 3. Oh, I forgot to account for that because I'm an idiot. Hey, Kronos, what's up, dude? This is, without a doubt, the most difficult puzzle I've ever done. I'm pretty sure this is also, like, the very last puzzle in the game, though, so, you know, that's where we're at. We're going full on, like, the Matrix, Ghost in the Shell. I'm gonna download ourselves into Ember. That's what this is. So this is, we're now plugged straight into our brain, like, or like, you know, the big cyberpunk ponytail that they had in the Matrix. So you can go flippity doo dah in a virtual environment. So once they've done that, see, I like this. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that we're not going to get this done this stream. There's a lot of challenges to overcome in this. And I don't even think so, okay, there's a couple of big challenges. First of all, we have to figure out a way to move through the network. I think I've got a fix for that, but it's not perfect. Then we need to find a valid register. Again, we need to find a neuron that ticks all of our criteria. It has a host and it has a nerve register. Again, think I found a fix for it, but I don't think but it's not perfect. Then we need to send that data, which is what we're trying to figure out how to do now without it getting jumbled. And then we need to figure out how to sort that data from highest to lowest based on host name. So it's not based, if you look at the bottom here where it says new, look at the data there. It's not highest to lowest on the nerve register. It's highest to lowest on host name. So we need the host names to be in alphabetical order or alphanumeric order. Well, no, numerical order. They all start with AR, so let's call it numeric order just to keep things simple. Which is kind of difficult because it means that well, actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, it might not be that that bit might not actually be the difficult bit. No, well, yeah, no, it kind of is. It kind of is. No, not really. No, I think there's a sorting out. I saw a video on like the way computers can do like sorting algorithms, and there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing it. I think I can't remember which one it is, but I think one of those sorting algorithms would actually help us with that data. But how to write that in a way that Exapunks can like execute that, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea how to do that. But well, that's so far down the road that we honestly don't have to think about it. Like, we got to try and get the data in an order to sort first. This isn't like the baseball one. The baseball one was really easy in that, like, just the way it was set up. How did I set that one up? That may be helpful. Hang on. We're going to go back to that puzzle. Which, by the way, this is the very last puzzle of the game. I mean, all classic video game design. Everything you've learned about the video game, now apply it. So, like, let's go back and check that out and see how I solved that, solved that communication issue. Where was it? Extreme League Baseball. Here it is. Okay, so how did I solve this? Grab X, seek 1, copy that. Oh, that's all the maths. Okay. Copy X to T. Wait for a callback. Once it gets the callback, it then starts the timer. Okay, but the timer was based on the score of the information it received. Bubble sorts assertively. Is it a bubble sort? Is that what I'm thinking of? It might be. I'd have to go and look up that YouTube video, but I can't remember it. But yeah, like, we'll have to do like a sort. It's definitely going to be a sorting algorithm. But which one I don't remember off the top of my head. But that's okay. That's not how I work. Like, I take lots of notes, like a lot. Like, honest to God, you should see like the notes I took in university. I still have all of my notes from like the first day of university. It all like sorted in Evernote, and they're all like, sorted in a way that I can basically use Evernote like Google for like all my university notes. It's great. But that's how I do things. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure I have that bit of information somewhere, and then I remember where to find it, not what the information is. Anyway, it looks like I built the timer. So I built the timer, and then I told it to wait to start that timer until I was ready for it. But I don't think that's going to work here because it's not one exa just creating all the reps. It's exas creating exas, so it's all just moving through like that. So that's a problem. I mean, not necessarily, but that might not be too bad of an idea, because each value, I don't think we're gonna have nerves with the same value. Although we might. We might. But I don't. I mean, this one doesn't. But I mean, look at that one. Minus 41 and minus 40. Even if we assume okay, let's assume that they were all negative numbers, which I don't think they are. But let's assume that they're all negative numbers. Which I mean, the nerves can range from, I think it's negative 75 to plus. It's into a positive number, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, it can go into positive numbers, which would cause us problems. But like, let's say it goes up to, let's say, all right, but this one's 41 and 40, which means we would have to tell them to start at individual times. Unless they all sent a ready signal first. Oh my god, we kind of do the baseball puzzle, but we kind of like flip it on its head. So instead of them waiting to go, they say, we're ready to go, and when everybody's ready to go, we can then tell them all to start to go. That's going to add some code, but I think it's doable. So maybe we don't put that in the wait step. So we can do that. And then they can wait to be told what to do. And this one, before it gets into its write loop, because that's going to write all of its data, before it does that loop, maybe we have it do another loop. So we have it mark, and we'll call this the start. I don't want to call it start loop. We'll call it fuse, the fuse loop, because that's what it was before, basically. So mark fuse. So then it's going to actually no. We don't want that. We don't want that. What we want it to do is copy a value to M. It doesn't matter what the value is. What's a good value here? I mean, it literally doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of like a cyberpunky number. We'll just use late. Whatever. It's computer speak. Whatever. Copy that to M. And then, so it's saying, I'm ready to go. And then it waits until... And then it waits. It says, I'm ready to go. And then when you're ready for me to go, I'll do it. I'll do my thing. So that way, what this can do is void M, because we just need to get a piece of data. Subtract from X. Is it X? No, from T. T1, write that back into T. And then just jump back into that fuse. So once everybody's ready to go, how was I going to do this? Once everybody's ready to go... Just trying to think about the best way to do this. So, like, do I want to, like, get a data thing back and then just immediately send back and say start? I kind of don't. Well, yeah, no, I do, actually. Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, no, it's just to get them to start. No, but all their timers were going to start anyway. So... Maybe we just wait until they all say they're ready to go. No, I feel like this is overcomplicating it a lot, because like we're still going to get data coming in at the same time. So maybe we don't have it jump back into fuse, actually. What we can have it do is... Okay, we're not going to send anything back. So it's going to copy something to the M register. We're going to get that thing. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this... We're not going to have a fuse, because this is stupid. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We don't even need this. We can just add this into our write loop. That's what we're going to do. So... it's going to... Well, actually, hang on a minute. So what we need... Well, what we'll need to do... No. We can add it to our loop. Does that even make any difference, though? That's not making a difference. No, I don't think that's making a difference. No. See, because we can't have them all go as soon as they're ready, because that was causing problems as well. You know what we can do? We can do the baseball trick, though. So instead of copying 200 into T, we're going to copy X to T, and we're going to add to that, we're going to add 100. No, we're going to subtract, sorry. We're going to subtract from T 100, and write that back into t. So that way, even if it's a positive number, it ends up a negative number anyway, and then that just means it'll go sooner. Yeah, so that does that, and then instead of subtracting 1 from t, it's going to add 1 to t, and then it goes up from there. So I'm pretty sure, as long as it's not 0, it's going to read true, is how that works. So now that way, everybody's wait timers are all different. They're not all the same timer, which is great. And it keeps with what I'm doing, which is it's all one way. They're only ever going to send data. They're not going to receive anything, which is great. So we don't need that anymore. We don't need that. And it cleans it up. It's easier to read. It makes more sense. Keeps things simple, which is nice. Okay, let's see what that does. Again, this isn't going to go test 1 complete because we still need to sort the data, but we need to make sure we can get data. We can get data that we can sort. Okay, and they're all sending at different times. Oh, those ones all kind of sent at the same time. Oh, and that one broke. Why is it now saying it's done? Oh, but look at that. Look at that. It's still sending jumbled data. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to break this one out because I want to see what that timer's doing when it starts to send data. So now they all wait. 1, 0. Yeah, yep, there we go. So then it jumps over. Cool. Then it's received a piece of data, received another piece of data. Great. It goes back. It might be that we're not accounting for 0. Okay, so let's see. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it gets that. Okay, and runs out of instructions. Okay, so we do need to make it 11. That's the problem. Because we need to account for 0. Thought we did. I don't know why I didn't think so before. Okay, so now they're all kind of sending. It's still going to kind of break, but at least we can get all the data now. Okay, cool. So we've got all the data. We just need to figure out the best way to get them all to send them at different times. Okay, cool. But it's now 3 ticks per wait. So what if we multiplied the number? It's 3 ticks per wait. There's 11. Well, there's 10 of them. So what if we multiplied the number by 30? That might give us some stupidly high numbers, though. And it still wouldn't fix this, because I'm positive the problem is right here. See, these numbers are really close together, so building timers off of these isn't really going to work. Unless, actually, we intentionally make the numbers bigger. No, that's not going to help. Because we can't do... Wait a minute. Oh my god. There's a new piece of code we can totally use. Well, not a new piece, but a piece that I've never used before. And that's the random button. Hang on a minute. The random integer, I'm pretty sure. Wait, where is it? Wasn't there a random button? There it is, right there. Yeah. Create a random number between the first and second operands. Store the result in the third. Yeah. Yeah. Let's randomize. Because again, we just need to get all the data one at a time. We don't need it to automatically sort there. We're going to sort it after the fact. We just need to make sure we're getting it in an order that can be sorted. So let's do that. I've never used the random thing either. So like, this will be fun. So copy X to T, and then let's do a random number between, it's the first operand and the second operand. So a random number between, wait, am I writing that out correctly? Yeah, rand. Okay. Let's see. What should our range be for our random numbers? I think it does need to be Well, it doesn't even need to be a negative number anymore because we're not tying it to... Oh, no, we are. We are. Let's tie it to... Yeah. So, let's tie it to t. So, a random number between whatever t is and... let's say -1. No. Let's call it -3. Because that way... No, we'll make it -1. Because that way... Because it always has to do this 3 times. So it'll add 1, that'll go 0, do its kill, and fall through. Hopefully they just don't end up with the same number. And then they need to write that back into t. And that gives us our timers. And even with these ones, we're getting a random range from these. So even though they're so close together, that's just a seed now for our random number. And the fact that they're all different is great. Okay, why is that saying it's wrong? What's the problem? Rand instructions are not allowed in this... Oh, what? What? No! Are not allowed in this task. Oh, that sucks. Are you serious? That would have totally solved the problem. And they're like, no, you can't use this piece of code that we put into the instruction manual. Oh my god, that is, yeah, what kind of nonsense is that? I know, right? Oh my god, I was really excited about using the code. I was like, we've literally never used it in the entire game. Here's a place where we could kind of use... Oh my god. Okay. Alright. You want to play that game? Okay. Alright. I see how it is, Exapunks. I see how it is. Okay. Maybe what we do... I don't even know if you can do this. What if we used Modi instead? So we grab the remainder from each of these numbers, and and then I don't know, do a multiplication to them or something. Basically, we're just going to code around the fact that we can't make a random number. That is bollocks. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see. Hang on a minute. Is there anything in the manual relating to it? Maybe it's like you can only use it in certain... No, just generate a random number between the first and second, and yeah. No, it's supposed to work just kind of like add and subtract and multiply and divide. Okay, so hang on a minute. Let's just do... Okay, so let's go -41, and we'll divide it by, I don't know, 10. Okay, so that's going to give us 4.1. Good. So if we did Modi on that, we're going to get a 1 out of that. That's cool. I wonder if that's going to end up being -1 though, because okay, whatever. We're getting a remainder, and that's good. We want remainders. Let's try that with -40 because that's an even number. Let's see if even numbers can do the same thing. Divided by 10 is no, so we're not getting a... Yeah. So that just gives us a 1 or a 0, basically. Which is a problem. Okay. Sucks that we can't do the random number thing. Oh, that would have been so good. Alright, let's go back to the manual, actually. I'm going to go back to this manual. Maybe there's something else. I never did the test MRD thing. And that might be the way to go. Because if it can read data being sent from another exa, we can just have it wait. Which means we don't even need a timer at all. It can, well, yeah, but that'll just jam up because then all of them will probably read positive. So we do need a timer. We can keep the timer simple though. I don't think we need to do anything crazy with it because even with these ones, because these ones will all go at the same time, or roughly the same time, and if one of them is still sending data, we want the other ones to like, whoop, we're going to wait. So maybe it does all of this, then it falls through. Oh, I have to make another mark, I think. So it'll fall through into another mark called comms or something. I don't know what the hell we're going to call that. Mark comms will test MRD. And if it can read from another exa that's trying to send, if true, jump back into comms. And just do that. And then when it falls through, it gets its turn to send data. Maybe that'll work. I have no idea. I've used test MRD maybe 3 times in the entire game, and I'm never quite sure how it works every time. So we might have to set it as a false. Okay, well, no, that's sending data. Oh, nope. They all sent at the same time. That was no bueno. That was no good. And it's still a mess. Okay, hang on. Let's see what's going on there, though. So let's go back. So everybody's in. Okay. Okay, that one's about... Wait, so that one's about to go. That one's still waiting. Okay, so wait, which ones are going at, like, the same time, then? So... That's got data. Wait. Where is it? Where is that one? It's right here. Okay, so it tested that. It wasn't true, so it fell through. And then it sent over the data. Cool. Now that one's doing its thing. And... Okay. It seemed to be around here that they were all going at exactly the same time. Oh, yep. Okay, and now that's sending. And now that's sending. That's fine. Now that's sending. Oh, nope, there it was. Right there. That one and that one sent at the same time. There it is. There's the break. Right there. Okay. Okay. So, this test MRD step isn't working the way I wanted it to. Let's look at the manual. Because I can never bloody remember. If this exa could read from another exa without pausing, set the T register to 1. Otherwise, set the T register to 2. Yeah, so it could read from another exa without pause. Yeah, because it should have been like, oh hey, I've got data. Maybe what we need to do. No, see, I don't want to put it in there because if I do that and then do a test MRD, that's bad. Sorry, not in here. Sorry, not in that exa. Sorry, but in this one. I don't want to send it. I don't want to do it between here and here. If it can read from another exa, set it to 1, yep. And then if it's true, we just want to go back. Oh, because remember this is... Well, no, this is 2 steps, and this is... Yeah, hang on a minute. I think we kind of had a similar problem before. So we do that, maybe we hold for a step, and then jump back. Maybe that'll work. Let's try that. Okay, we're getting a whole mess of data. No, that's made the data even messier. Wait, has it? Yes, it has. Yeah, it has. It's made that data even messier. Okay. No, that didn't work. Thought it might be that we've got like what we had before, where it was a even and odd situation. Unless now hear me out. Hang on. Let's go back to this idea, the void M idea. But instead of a void M, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to copy... We're going to send data saying, okay, send traffic. So it'll still do its wait step. We won't do this one. We'll get rid of that. We don't need that for this idea. And then once it's reached through all of that, it will void M and then send data. And then this will send data. So that way, so this one, only one of them will get that, will get this. And then once one of them has it, it sends data back. But the other ones aren't sending data because they're waiting for data. And then we go back. Maybe it was that simple. See, yeah, then they're all waiting, sending one at a time, and then we're going, okay, are you ready? Oh, they broke. They all broke. Oh, they broke. But it kind of worked. It kind of worked. Why are these ones all breaking, though? It should have... Okay, I don't know why that one's broken. It waited, and then it sends. And this one is now ready to send. And then it should get 2 pieces back. So, is it getting them in a jumbled order? Because it shouldn't. It should only be getting them from one... Hang on a minute. I just want to see where all the lines go. So that one, that one... Oh! Oh! Ooh! They all sent data to each other. That's the problem. That's bad. Oh, because they're... Yeah, and then... Okay, that's bad. Yeah, that's no good. Okay, yeah, no, this isn't going to work. Oh, this is where you're stuck too? Yeah, cool. All right. Yep. Misery loves company. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh boy. Okay. How do we get them to send only one at a time? What if they didn't? What if they didn't send any data at all? What if they wrote the information to a file and just dropped it? And then we just send another load of exes through to go and grab files and do cleanup at the same time. Because remember, we still had like a whole bunch of exes down here that were frozen and we need to kill them at some point anyway. No, we can't kill them because the register's full. Oh, that's bad. Okay. So we gotta figure out a way of cleaning out exes. So link setup, then it does the link check. Which is here. So that's if it's in a neuron, but then we want this if it can't do something. Yeah. See, maybe we do this. Oh, no. Put those on separate lines, please. Let me jump. But that might kill off... That might not work. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's not going to work. Oh, I can't believe that worked. No, that's not working. Because they're shooting each other when they get into the link. Okay, yeah, no. Can't happen there. Ugh. Cleanup's going to be tricky. Because then they jump and then they kill. Whew. I'm trying to tackle the cleanup because I can't figure out the comms situation. But maybe because we have to do the cleanup in here because we can't send eggs through because if this one fills up, we can't link into there to do anything to it. Which is a problem. Wait, what are they getting stuck on in there? Okay, here we go. So here they are full. So what are they getting stuck on? Yeah, so they're trying to make more of themselves, and it's not working. Okay. It's not even like I can do any link step stuff. Okay, hang on. Let's get back to getting the information. I think having them drop a file is probably going to be easier. It would also make our sorting a lot easier because then as we move through... No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sorting easier because the pattern of the network's random every time. So we have to set up another set of exes to kind of move through and find the file. But as they move through, they could do some killing. But these will only ever have one exa in them anyway. Or they should have none, actually. So these ones would all be empty, but these ones might be full, and that's a problem. Maybe... You know what? But maybe before we link anything, if there's stuff in there, just kill it. Maybe let me do that before we even get to here. Let's see what that does. Okay, that worked. Okay, that worked. Yeah. So before they create a new exa, they just kill they kill any old ones that are in there. So if it fills up, obviously they're all getting stuck. Any that are getting stuck here, you know, the ones before it will just go to here. And then kill one, free it up, and the first thing that the free one will do is link setup. Maybe we just put it in link setup. Maybe we could even put it even earlier on, just to like make it even less cycles. So the first thing it does is kills any other exes in there. Because this one will go to here, check if it's in a spot, yeah, and then it can do some kills and some setup. Maybe that'll work. Kind of? Not really? No. For some reason, putting it in there is a bad idea. Putting it in here is... Oh, of course, because this is looping through. That's right. Yeah, because it's going to do that. Yeah. No, that makes sense, because then it does it once every loop instead of just doing it just once. Yeah. Yep. And then they clean themselves out. Yep. And then these ones will just kill anybody coming in. So, like, this one will, like, before it even gets to this step, the one that's entered in will walk in, and if it's in a neuron where somebody's already there, it just goes and just shuts it right down. So this is always going to get the shot off first, basically. Yeah. Okay, so we solved one problem. And that is, how do we clean up the extra exes that we don't need? So, yeah, small victories. We got one problem solved. One of our challenges, which was clean up, we got solved. Because these ones, once they've sent their data, will just delete themselves. Or they should. Why aren't they deleting themselves? Wait. Have we got data? We didn't get any data. Ooh, because they're all waiting for data. Wait, hang on a minute. Yeah. And then it sends stuff. Wait. Oh, that's getting killed right out the gate. Why is it getting killed right out of the gate? It shouldn't be. It should be... Wait, hang on. What are you doing? What you doing? Oh, because there's a -1. Ew. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad. Not really. We just have to set up another wait loop, basically. Yeah, because like it was going -1 coming into here and then killing anything that was in here, and that was breaking our program. So okay, so it kind of works. That's okay. That's a bit more fixable though. And look at what our size is so far. 31 out of 150. Like, we're doing pretty darn good. I think we've kept this pretty lean so far. So I think I can afford to put in like another wait loop. So we'll mark this as host, or just call it defend, because it needs to defend the host and just like not let anybody else in here for a while. How many cycles until it fills up? I think we said it was 200. So you know what? Maybe we don't copy 11 to T there. We'll have that happen here. We'll do... Although, no, we don't. No, we don't. Because how many times is this actually realistically going to run? It's only... Well, let's see. Let's see how many come through. So... 1 comes through. 2 come... Nope. Just 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Oh no. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21... No, 20. Okay, so 20 are coming in. And then... Okay. So, realistically, our, like, wait timer... Let's set it to, like, 40. Although, it's doing it twice. Yeah, that's what I mean. So, it's because it's doing 2 steps. It links in and then kills. So, we want it to kill before it does its kill step. So, yeah, do it 40 times. And we'll do a kill, subtract from T1, write that back into T, true, jump into defend. And then, once it falls through, we can then set up for our right loop. Let's try that. Okay. Alright, and then it hit, yep, oh wow, okay, cool, that kind of worked. Oh, but now it's all getting jammed up again. Okay. So, okay, well, at least we're keeping this one alive, which is great. And we've kept it alive without kind of like bogging down the entire program. It can kind of just run and do that while it waits. And that's even assuming that there's something in here that's going to like... Well, that's assuming something's in there. Hang on a minute. Let's try this one. Okay, yeah, because then they just clean themselves. Oh dear. Oh, no. Okay. Now they're all sent, yeah, and then some of them are breaking. Okay. But even with empty, so even if it's empty, I don't care about the rest. Even if that's empty, this idea still works. So that's great. Cool. Okay, so we got the cleanup sorted. Usually we do cleanup last, but this one we had to kind of do it second. So we can move through the network, regardless of what the shape of it is. We can clean up after ourselves now without breaking the rest of our program. That's basically, that was like kind of I'd call that challenge 2.5, I guess, technically, because it only presented itself as a problem when we started. Well, it's part of the second challenge. No, it's part of the second challenge. We got 2. 2 of the challenges are done. Now we need to figure out communication and then sorting. Okay. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Oh boy. But this one is squirrely. which is a new turn of phrase I learned from John Malecki, who's a YouTuber I've been watching a lot of. I don't know why, but I've been getting into like DIY YouTubers a lot lately. And like, I really do like John Malecki. He's like, I don't know, he's a bit of a character. But like, but also like, I don't know, I only know him as like a DIY YouTuber. But like, apparently, like, I mean, part of his shtick on his about page was like, I was an offensive lineman in the NFL. And I was like, I don't even know what an offensive lineman is. So, cool. Well, that's not true. I have some idea of what an offensive lineman is. They stand on the line of scrimmage and then offend. I'm pretty sure they're the guys that like run over the line and like, you know, when they call hut and they just like, you know, body slam into the other offensive lineman in front of them. But that's it. So this is squirrely. It kind of helps with our comms issue, our cleanup issue, because it means that we're not going to have to worry about any of these eggs as interfering. Not that we were super worried about it in the first place, but we kind of were. Yo! Yeah, absolutely look for inspiration on YouTube. In fact, sometimes you find a project... Yeah, DIY channels do always have some good ideas. They do. I'm not watching it for looking for ideas. I'm just watching it just because, like, it's nice to watch someone make something. Whether that's, like, physical furniture or code or whatever. But, speaking of, like, Arduinos and, like, finding things to do and stuff like that, I wrote an honest-to-God script a couple of days ago. In fact, I was working on it last night as well. I wrote a script that does a thing. I wrote it in Python. I wrote a Python script that goes to my podcast's feed, grabs a random episode, and then creates a web page that then loads and plays that episode. And I made it so that, like, if I ever end up... like, well, I made it because my mate Ricky, who's also does Pint Party, he was streaming the other day, and he was streaming, like, himself building a computer, building a PC. It's wicked. But then he had to, like, basically he just wanted to take a break to go to the toilet or something. And he put up a be right back sign, which is like this. Which my one's really basic because I don't use it. But, like, it was like that. And on it, he was playing a clip from the podcast. I was like, yo, that's dope. How did you do it? Did you do it like this? Like, did you just grab a random episode and play it? Like, how did you write that code? Or did you find an extension or something that does that? And he was like, no way, that's way too much work. I just, like, edited a clip out and just have that play. It just, like, calls an MP3 file, which is that clip. I was like, oh, that's... okay, yeah, I mean, that works, but, like, it's a lot of work to set it up, because it means you'd have to download the episode, listen to it, find a clip you like, cut it out, save it as an MP3, put it in a playlist. And I was like, that's kind of boring. Well, not boring, but I was like, that just sounds like a lot of work when I could kind of automate that by just pulling the RSS feed, grabbing an episode at random and playing it. It doesn't play like the good clips though. It doesn't find a clip. It just starts from the beginning of the episode, but like, that's fine. Because it just plays a random one. And the web page itself kind of looks pretty. I prettied it up because by making some just by tooling around with CSS, which, by the way, like, I haven't touched CSS since I was 18, like since I was at TAFE the first time learning web design, and it hasn't changed a lot since then, but like there's a lot that that kind of has changed, or that was changing when I learned it. Basically, we were switching over from HTML4 to HTML5 at the time, so like CSS was getting muddled with as well at the same time. Anyway, I did all of that, and it looks pretty, and it comes up with the name of the episode description. I had to locally reference the podcast image because pulling that from the RSS feed was just like causing the website to choke way too much trying to download that image and display it. So I just have that set locally. It's like whatever. And I can just execute that script, and it just basically generates a new HTML file every time. And then, like, on this page, I could, like, have that web page appear in here instead of it saying "be right back" like that. Or I mean, I'd have it say "be right back," but I could put that somewhere else, and I could make the web page just do all of that. Although I don't want it to. I want to have some flexibility with like putting "be right back" and stuff in other spots and maybe animating it and things without using JavaScript. Yeah. Python is super nice for scripting. It really is. Like, it's the first time I went, I'm going to write this, I'm going to make this program. I thought, okay, first thing I was going to do was write it in JavaScript because I knew I wanted a web page to like have it all come out to. And I thought, well, JavaScript is like the obvious answer because that's where you do all your scripting. Problem is, though, JavaScript doesn't play nice with RSS feeds. Apparently, Microsoft or whoever manages JavaScript like locked all of that down because there was a security concern. I was like, okay, well, I'm not playing with just any RSS feed. I'm playing with my RSS feed, and I know what all the data's in there, and I'm the only one putting data into it, and I know where it's hosted. And so I thought about doing it. That's right. Then my next thought was C#, just because like that's the other language I was tooling around with most recently. Like most recently, it was like, well, basically it was C#, then JavaScript, then Python. But I started with JavaScript because that was the most obvious. Didn't work. Went to C#. Could do it in C#, but it's complex because I thought instead of making it a web page, I'll just make it a program that runs. That's complex AF, and I went, I'm not doing that. So I went, well, what about Python? Because one of the first projects I worked on in Python when I was learning it, just for funsies, was an RSS feed reader. And there's a whole library for it called Feed Parser, which literally passes an RSS feed and allows you to call on different bits of an RSS feed as variables. Sorry, as variables and methods and stuff like that. So I did that, and then, yeah, that's how the script works. In fact, you know what? I'll open up the script. Hang on. We're going to take a break from Exapunks real quick to look at, like, we're going to take a break from pretend programming to look at real programming. How about that? Let me bring up my script. Okay, Python scripts. Feed player. Where's the latest version? I think it's in there. Is it that? I think that's it. Also, I had to like uninstall and reinstall Python just because I had like two different versions of Python and I didn't have pip for some reason, so that made it all a pain in the butt. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's the one, but I swear I thought I'd renamed it. No, it doesn't matter. Alright, whatever. We'll open that one up because that's basically it. No, give me this. Edit with idle. There we go. Now, can I show idle? Let's see. Program. Change. Is that it? Yes. There you go. All right, sweet. I can show it to you. So this is. I mean, So this is the script. So basically, it brings in the feed parser library. I also have in random, so that's how I get my random episode. And then I use web browser to like automatically open the web browser. But if you don't want it to automatically open your web browser, you could get rid of that whole library and like it's one line. I'm only using it for one line of code. So then it tells you it's running. I have that at the start of everything just to know that the script is actually like executing, which is like really nice to have. So I do that, and then I had to put this one in, generating episode list, because this bit here, which is the actual kind of like, this is where I'm getting the XML, getting the RSS feed, and like basically downloading it into the script into memory, so that I can then like do stuff with it. That was taking a long time, and it took longer and longer every time I ran it. And I suspect that's because my podcast hoster has like, you know, DDoS prevention software, and because I was running it so many times as I was testing, it probably thought I was trying to DDoS them, and so it would like throttle my connection, which is fine. That's really, I mean, because it only prints to the console, so like, you know, it's nice to have that there just to see, okay, this is what it's up to. And then once it's got all of that, it says it's generated the list of episodes. I get the length of, so this is some stuff from Feed Parser. So Pod Feed is feedparser.parse. So that's I've got the RSS feed here, and I've stored it in this variable. Then I want to know how many entries or how many items they're actually called in RSS. Are they called that? Are they called? Yeah, well, the entries, items, it depends because it does RSS and Atom. And I want the length of that because I want to know how many. Basically, every item's an episode, or every entry is an episode. So I want to know how many of those there are because I want that as a number to then manipulate after the fact, which is right here. So I get that entry, and oh my god, wait a minute. Pod feed entries. Oh wow, that's actually a completely redundant piece of code. I don't need that piece of code. Maybe I do. I might have like referenced it somewhere else for there to be a thing there. That shouldn't actually need to be there anymore though, because I'm doing it in here. But basically, yeah, see, because I'm running the same code in here. But basically, what this does is this is what grabs the random episode. So it goes into the entries and it selects an entry at random, and that'll be a range of 1 because I know that there's at least 1. Because again, we're working with known data. It's not just any RSS feed; it's my RSS feed, and I know that there's at least 1 episode in it. 2, the maximum number of episodes. So that way, I don't have to constantly rewrite in like there's 50 episodes or 51 episodes. It just does that dynamically. The array starts at 0. The array does start at 0, but it means that but I've had it pull up the first episode, so sometimes that works. No, have I had it pull up the first episode? Yeah, no, I have. I don't. Yeah, you're absolutely right. For some reason, it shouldn't work, but it does. I don't know why. You're right. It should be 0, but but having it start at 1 makes it work. I don't know. Anyway, what that does is it gets a random entry. And then what am I doing? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. It is funky. And then I get the title. Right, so that's why, yeah. So then I could have written all of this like this and this into one line of code, but I split them out because I want to reference this a couple of times. And that is right here. So we get this episode, we get this entry. Oh no, we don't. Anyway, whatever. We get this entry, and then we want the title for it, and that we use to like display on the web page is the title of the episode, the description of the episode, and then this is the tricky bit, which is finding the URL that has the direct link to the MP3 file. And that's because the way our podcast host does it is it puts it inside of a tag. So within the item tag in an RSS feed, there's another tag called enclosure. And inside there's the URL and a bunch of other things. There's a couple other things, and they're called uncommon RSS elements to the feed parser documentation. But basically, I know exactly where it is every time, and I know it's there because, again, we're working with a known data set. So I just go straight to it. I know that I want the very first thing in the enclosure, and the enclosure can have multiple things, but in this case, it only has one thing. And the one thing it has is a dictionary with keys and values. And the key I want is URL. And I want to pull that value, which is the web address. So now that I have all of that information, I then store the names of the HTML and CSS files as separate things. Basically, just because I referenced them a couple of times, and as I was iterating on this on the HTML data, I didn't want to constantly have to rewrite that, so I just kept them as variables. You don't need to do that, but I did it just because it's lazy. And then we have to store our entire HTML file as a variable, and we store our entire CSS file as a variable. So there's the web page. Oh, and the web page as well has a bunch of these stand-in things, and that's where the episode title is going to go, where the episode description is going to go, and where the and then where the URL for the audio control is going to play. And I just used the standard HTML5 audio player. I wasn't going to you can make it look pretty by adding JavaScript to it and like doing stuff, but that's like super complex, and I don't need it. I don't need it to look that pretty, and I actually kind of like the default look anyway, because the website is the colors of Pint Party, which is yellow and white, and the audio controller by default is white. So I was like, yeah, that works anyway. Design-wise, it's fine. So once we have all of those, then we have to create a file, which is that name of the file, and then we have to write that file, close that file. Oh, right, and that's the CSS file. So I make the CSS file first, and then I make the HTML file second. And the reason for that is just like Pythonic thinking. It's like, basically, you know, if you want to reference something in your code, you have to make sure that the thing you're referencing is already loaded into memory, which is why you put, you know, all your variables up the top, and then you have all your code execute after the fact. So even though it literally doesn't matter, because the HTML file technically references the CSS file as like part of its code, it's like right here, there's the style sheet. I do the style sheet first. It was just habit. I didn't even realize I'd done it until I did it, and I went, there's no reason to change it. So that then gets loaded up and ready to go. Then it makes the web page file. Now, this is a little bit funky as well, because you might be like, why are you encoding in UTF-8? Python 3 specifically, which is what this is. Python 3 automatically does UTF-8 encoding, so why are you explicitly stating it? I have to state it explicitly because I think there's something funky with the RSS feed. I think the RSS feed isn't encoded in UTF-8. I think it's encoded in something else. Because what was happening was, without that in there, it would write the file, no problem, but then I would be missing all of the special characters from UTF-8. And what I mean by that, I mean like apostrophes and commas and stuff weren't appearing. They were just coming up as unknown characters. So I think the RSS feed isn't UTF-8 encoded. So because that data isn't encoded in that way, I should actually space that out. There we go. That's a bit neater. I have to explicitly then encode the whole thing. So basically it takes all of the information, including the stuff that is in UTF-8, and encodes it all into UTF-8. So, and that fixed it. That meant that all the special characters were there. And then I write that file, close it, and then this is where that import web browser thing is. It just automatically opens that into your default web browser. And then this was just for like testing purposes. It goes, okay, here's the episode that it's loading. Here's the link to that episode. This was just right in the very beginning, right when I was very first, like, you know, trying to make this thing work. The very first thing I wanted to do was like, can I get any data at all? And so one by one, I would print the data that I was looking for to see if I was getting the right piece of data. And I've just left it in there because why not? Nobody will ever see it. If I just executed this in File Explorer, and you know, it opens up, you know, it opens up a command line and just like executes. Nobody ever sees this because the program terminates and closes before that point. But and the web browser is already appearing over the top before that point. The only problem with my code is that it doesn't play nice with Chrome, because in the audio control I've got autoplay, which is what I wanted. Like, I wanted it to load the web browser and then automatically play that episode, so that, like, you know, it was all one click and go away. But the problem is that Chrome, you know, and rightly so, Chrome disables any audio that automatically plays, because that's really annoying. Like, if you go to a website and it automatically plays a thing, that's really, really annoying. So it disables that by default. And in order for the user to enable it, the user has to interact with the web page as it's loading. Or it has to meet a whole bunch of other criteria and stuff for, like, why, like, you know, like, does it have a high usability score? Has the user been there a bunch of times and blah, 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 which this thing will never cross that usability threshold because it's a brand new web page every time. Because it just overwrites the old web page and creates a new one. So it would mean that in Chrome, you just have to automatically do that. But I don't intend to use this with Chrome. Really, I'm actually probably going to get rid of this. in in a version of it, because I really do want to make this usable in OBS. So, which you can do. You can write Python scripts for OBS. But that's where the rub is, because apparently OBS uses Python 2 and not Python 3. And even though I don't think I'm doing anything that's specifically Python 3 specific, it would mean I would have to install Python 2 onto my computer and like do stuff, and that's a pain in the bum to make it work. But also I'd have to add a whole bunch of extra code, because I'm gonna then add a bunch of code to like hook into OBS. But this is like a minimum viable product. Like you can run this and it'll do the thing, which is great. Yeah. OBS uses Python 2. Probably because it never got updated. I don't know why. I mean, it's open source software. Maybe that's what the develop, like the people, maybe the group that like primarily writes stuff for OBS, maybe they all prefer Python 2 and they just can't be bothered updating. I don't know. The fact that Python 2 is still a thing is kind of strange. And that it's still being actively worked on. Like you can you can go to the Python website and there are brand new versions of Python 2 being released at the same time as new versions of Python 3. I don't know enough about the language to understand why it's a thing. I like my natural instinct is to say it's like HTML4 and HTML5. You just support it for a few extra years until everybody changes over. But like, I mean, that's never worked, because look at XP. People are still using XP. I think maybe it will. I don't know, but I'm on Python 3 anyway, so it doesn't affect me. But it does affect OBS, and it does mean that if I want to make the thing for OBS, I got to switch over to Python 2 to do that. But then when they switch over to Python 3, this script's going to break, and I'm going to have to port it back, which is like annoying as. I'm just going to save what I've got here. Wait, come on. Yeah, save. Cool. But yeah, I just realized I don't think that is. Wait, do I mention pod entries anyway? Podfeed.entries. This is the only place that's going to use it. Doesn't get used down here. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a whole line of code I can just get rid of. Sweet. Yeah, don't need that. Cool. There we go. There's some active software development right there in real time. I just never noticed it. I mean, I had it there initially because I did have a corresponding line of code here saying print pod entries, just so that I knew that I was not only passing the feed, but I was getting the amount of things in it, which was great. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's the script I wrote. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of it. It took me, I started working on it hey, no worries. I'm proud of it. I really wanted to show it off. Honestly, once I got it all working, I was like, I really want to show this off on stream. Just to be like, Exapunks, honestly, to show what Exapunks can do. Because, okay, hear me out. So, the more, we've been playing Exapunks now. I think I checked on Steam. I think I've got, because I've only ever played it on stream, I think we've got close to 50 hours into this game. And the more I've played, the more I've been able to think in a computer science programming kind of a way. And so that's, put my head into the right headspace for writing code. And so when it came to doing something like this, my brain was already used to thinking in that way. So it was able to kind of do all of this because I had the tools to do so. Exapunks gave my brain the tools to think in that way. So yeah, I think it's really, really cool. So there we go. Break's over. What is it? 4:10. Yeah. We weren't going to get this done today anyway. All right, let's get back into figuring this out. That was a little brief soiree. That was a tangent and a half, but I think it was a tangent worth doing. Just sort of why are these games worth playing? Well, they have real world applications. They helped me think in a programming way, and I wrote something that actually does something useful. And it was a fun project. It really was. It took me 6.5 hours straight. That's not true because I've spent a few hours on it. I spent to get it working without it looking pretty. Just to grab an episode and generate a web page. That was like 6 hours, and then I spent most of last night making it pretty, and that meant having to like brush up on HTML and like basically relearn CSS because I hadn't touched CSS in years. Where I had done some HTML stuff a few years, in the intervening years. But that was easy enough. Like I honestly just watched one YouTube video called "Learn Get the Basics of CSS in 20 minutes," and I was like, that's literally all I want. I don't want to do any fancy animations. I don't want it. I just want this. But I still had to go and look up some extra CSS stuff because there were extra things I needed, especially like getting custom font is a pain in the butt. Not because like I wanted to download a custom font off the internet. I had a custom font on my computer. I just wanted the website to go to that file and say, use that as the font. That was a pain. Turned out the problem really was just that like I hadn't written out my URL, like local file location thing properly. Because it's been literal years since I've had to do it. But yeah, I got all that working. And that was another like 3 or 4 hours just to make the website look nice. Not because like, I mean, a lot of it was Googling, but a lot of it was just kind of going back and forth and being like, do I like this or do I like that? Or, it's all, when you're making things pretty, sometimes you end up going back and forth a bunch. So I think in total, I've probably spent maybe 10 hours writing that program, which is pretty cool. But it ain't done. It ain't finished. That's for sure. I've got to make it easier to use. Oh, no, I'm not just going to make it easy to use. I've got to make it work with OBS. That's the next thing I've got to do. Anyway. Enough distractions. Let's download ourselves into an AI. Who by the way, the way Ember phrased it wasn't download yourself into my program. It was, I'm going to eat you. That's what they said, word for word. I'm going to eat you. But we're so far down the rabbit hole, this is like, the last would you kindly. Oy. Alright. So... Okay. It is rude. It is rude to phrase it that way. Yeah. But I think it really is just phrasing. Like, I feel like Ember doesn't fully understand how eating works. So, yeah. But it's still... But, like, I mean, the plus side is we're basically cheating death. Because we're going to upload ourselves into Ember and exist as an emulation inside Ember's programming forever, while our meat body is succumbs to the phage. We're Johnny Depp in that movie that sucked. That's what we're doing right now. But we're like right at the start of that movie where Johnny Depp's still trying to figure it out while he's dying. That's where we are. That's what we're doing. All right. Let's try and figure this out. How do we get him to communicate? Okay, hang on. Let's start from the top. Start from the top and we'll see if anything pops up. So we go in, then we set up our link counter, set up the amount of times we want that to run, kill anything that's already in there, create a new thing, and that thing will be born with whatever's in a text register, and then it'll jump through. We subtract 1 from that. We subtract 1 from our counter to go to the next link, and we do that whole bit again until t reaches 0. And then we try and check if the host we're in has a nerve register, and then we copy that over to T. So theoretically, there should be enough time between it just getting to the place and starting its timer and the next place for it to send, but it's sending them all at the same time. So maybe what we need to do is make that take even longer. I don't know. So that's one. So that's 3. So that's waiting for it to send a thing. What we could do. Problem is that they're going to talk to each other. But maybe just moving that there works a little better, because maybe it doesn't start the timer until we tell it to. Oh, wait, nope, it died. Something died. Nope, Exba died again. Why the heck is it dying? It got shot. Oh, I see. It got shot by something. Okay. That broke it for some reason. Okay, so the defend loop isn't working. Let's just make it obscenely long, just to see. Oh, no. Okay, so we're keeping it clean. So then by the time it's done, it's at 544 cycles. Oh. It's still iterating through defend. So, okay. Alright. Maybe 200 is fine. Because that's a mess. Oh, nope. Nope, okay. That broke it. Okay. So maybe we do have to make this one just really long. Oh wow. Stuff's just constantly moving through. Oh. For some reason, moving that to here has caused it to screw up. Oh, because they're not constantly killing anymore. That's it. Yeah. That's why it broke our entire bloody... Yeah. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want a new egg, sir. Oh, what am I doing? No, go away. No, I want to put it back in here. Okay, yep, now I realize how that works. Oh, sweet. Nice. Good work. Cool. Alright, good moment, Kronos. Finding a solution. Alright. Oh, based on your idea of sending data to the exes. Yeah. So... Oh my god! We're not... Yeah! Okay! Alright. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. The last puzzle is the trick, is the solution. Okay, so instead of copying X to T, we're not even gonna do that. We are... no, we are. We are going to copy X to T, actually. No, copy X to T. We need to do the wait step twice. That's how we're going to do this. Okay, so we'll copy M to T. jump to wait, and then just do that. Oh no, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. No. Because what I'm thinking is that instead of like figuring out the counter in here, we just figure out, we can have this Exa do the figuring out, just like what we did in the last puzzle. But I need it to do that without getting killed. And so basically we just wait until everything else gets cleaned up. I think that's the idea, yeah. Wait until everything else gets cleaned up. Wait, yeah, because once everything's cleaned up, we don't need that wait loop. Because then we can just make another, we can just make an easy one. Yeah, so then we copy M to T. And then mark, yeah, so this is going to be, well, this is going to be, we'll call this cleanup. This will be our cleanup loop. Well, actually, no, it's going to defend. This is defend. This is its defend loop. Once it's found its spot, it'll hold it. So then it'll copy, and then mark, and then this is its actual wait loop. Yeah. So that way, so once we've waited, once we've defended for a period of time, which this seems to work because this is kind of like taking care of itself as well. Do we even need a kill here anymore? Maybe we don't. I want to see what happens. I'm going to get... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to comment it out. I want to see what happens. Is it just going to infinitely run? Yeah, it's just going to infinitely run. Yeah, basically we need to like stop things from moving through. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so we do need to. And then that kind of like does that. Yeah. And then they all wait for signal. So I reckon we could probably work out how long each one needs to wait based on a range. Let's go to the manual because I just want to get that range. 50. Okay, where is it? Debugging the phage. That's what I want. I just want that range of values. Is it on this page? No, it's on the next page. So it's from -70 to around 50. And can fall as low as 120 when suppressed. Yeah, no, we want the resting and the excited. Oh, because if it goes over, that's a problem. Yeah, so okay, so hang on. This is going to break if we don't do something with it. Subtract from T 100. Write that into T. Because if it's a positive number, it's going to break. This will break if it's a positive number. In a future test, because it can go as high as 50, not -50, as high as 50. So let's just account for that right here. Now it's something we don't have to think about. Okay, so then this will work. All right, so now we need to have this range. So it's probably the same as how many steps is that? I'm just going to use this calculator. Okay, so 50 subtract -70. What does that give us? -20. Probably not what I want actually. 50 minus 70 is -20. No, I want to know how many numbers are between those two. So, actually, what am I doing? Yeah. No, it's 50 plus 70 is 120. So is there 120 steps? So, and each tick of the wait loop will be 2, because it'll subtract from T1, write that back into T. T, jump into weight. So we'll make that a 2-step. So 120, if it's 120 is the total range for this. How did I work it out? How did we work it out? We had to we divided it by 2. So it was 60. So it was what we need to. Okay, hang on a minute. It's 120. I think we still need to multiply. So 100. So the total range of what the highest value can be is 120. 120 multiplied by 10 is 1200. Okay. So 1200, and if we subtracted 60 every time. Wait, hold on. No. What's 1200 divided by 10? Is 120. That's going to be a huge gap, actually. No, I think I'm going about this the wrong way. Let's approach it from another angle. What if they all waited? And then we did all set them off kind of at the same time. Or we put in... We need to put in a gap of 3 in each one, don't we? Yeah. So they all wait, and then they're all going to send a thing. Okay, yeah, I think we can base this out on the number of eggs that are in here. So there's 10 eggs. They're all going to send data. Each one, so 10 times 10 is 100. And then each one's tick is 2, so if we multiply that by 2, that gives us 200. No, that's not going to work. We need a number. We need to divide. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I'm overcomplicating this. 10 times 10 times 10 is 100. 100, and then each one takes 2 ticks. So if we halve that 10 into 5 and we divide this by 5, we end up with 20. And then I think it's kind of regressive, like we would basically, hang on. Okay, hang on. So yeah, that bit works. I reckon what we're going to do is we'll do the maths in, well, we'll have to set it up in here still. So we're going to copy what to X. Well, hang on, let's set up we have our timer set. Why are we doing it there? We can just do it up here because we're not doing any X stuff up here. Copy what to X, 100 to X. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy X to M, subtract from X 5, write that back into X. So each one subtracts 5 from it. So yeah, maybe that'll work. So we send them the timer. Maybe that'll work. Although they might get killed before that point. Yeah, but if they do, then they just no, they don't, because we're going to defend first. Yeah. Okay. So they're all just going to do their killing. Yep, that cleans everything up, and then they're all waiting for data. So that's their defend loop. And then, yeah, now they're waiting on the data, but this one's still in its defend loop. It's almost there. Okay, it sent some data. Oh. Oh, right. And now it's waiting. Oh. Did it? Oh, no, it's... damn it. It was waiting. Yeah, and then it did the 2 ticks down on the first one. And then when it sent data back, yeah, so what... So, okay, so I need to have this break out into its own loop, basically. Subtract from T1 like that into T. So, mark go loop. And it'll do that, and then jump into go loop. And then it's going to fall through. God damn it. I hate that I have to do this so many times. There's probably a way nicer way to do this. Okay, so now it just sends it to everybody at once. So when everybody's ready to receive, because then they're all only ever sending. Okay, see, and then they're all ready to go. Okay. Oh, why has it got a... Oh. Ooh. Wait, yeah. Why is that? Why is that breaking? Hang on. That shouldn't be breaking. Yeah, subtract that. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, right, okay. So, yeah, okay, so this one needs to be, still needs to be 10 then, apparently. Okay, alright. That's weird. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Falls through. And is ready to receive. And everything is now counting off at different times. Oh! Oh, yeah, look at that. We've got all the data, and we got it all in the correct sequence that we want it. Okay. So, all I did was, because we don't want them all to send at the same cycle, so it's a little bit different to the last puzzle. But basically, and yeah, now it's like broken, because it's like, now what do I do? Oh, it is broken, because for some... What the heck is going on? Oh, you know what? You know what it might be? This step needs to happen first. Let's do that. That's probably what it is. Hang on. We're getting the data all at the same time. Now it's just a matter of, like, numbers. I set it to 11 to account for 0, but, like, apparently it didn't like that. Yeah, oh, right. That's right. I need to, like, fast forward through all that gunk. Let's just get to here. Okay, so it's subtracting 1, and now it waits. And then they send. And the gap between them all should be about 5 cycles. Which, even though it takes each one 2 cycles, it gives us just a little extra bit of a gap. Okay, and now it's stuck at 0. Okay, so what we actually... Oh, boy. So maybe this does need to be 10. That is... Oh, wait a minute. That is so strange. Okay, it needed to be 10. Before it needed to be 11, now it needs to be 10. Okay, fine. Alright, so there's all of our data. Okay, so that's like challenge number 2, basically. Now all we need to do is like sort that data. Because we've got all the data we want, now we need to sort it. And that's a whole like that's a whole can of worms in and unto itself. But I feel like we've gotten over the biggest challenges. We got the biggest puzzles out of the way. We've figured out how to move through the network. We've figured out how to find all of the neurons and clean up after ourselves as we did so we're not clogging up the network. We've now we figured out how to send all that data write all that data into one file for sorting. So the final challenge is sorting that data, which is great. That's great. And I had an idea of how to do it, but now I can't remember what that idea was. I think the idea I had, just hang on, let's just go back into this just for funsies, just so I can explain what my idea is for next time. Hang on, so we get all the data, and then it blows up for now. That's okay, because we just want that data. So, the idea I had was we copy these 2 bits of data, and then see if it's bigger than anything else. And if it's bigger than everything else, then we need to write it somewhere, but I don't know where. That's as far as that idea got. That's as far as I got with that idea. I don't know how to sort. I don't know where to put data. I have an idea of how to sort it. Basically, the idea is kind of like what we did in the SnacksNet puzzle, the one where we had to disable the centrifuge. Where all I did was just compare like the this number against all of its other numbers, but I was going to copy. I can't copy both. Yeah, well, I just need to copy that number, don't I? And then just go all the way through and see if it's bigger than everything else. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I'm going to figure that out next time. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do that today because we got pretty good. I think for the next stream, I think we're going to have this figured out, which will be tomorrow. I'm going to be on tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Don't forget, like I said, I was talking about getting an episode of the podcast. You can get the podcast on Spotify. It's linked down below. It's also on Apple. It's also on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you like to listen to podcasts, on Pocket Casts and all that kind of stuff as well. And you can watch like the previous VODs here on Twitch. They're only on here for a short amount of time though. If you want to go back and watch them, after they disappear from Twitch, they're all up on our YouTube channel, which is also linked down below. Follow us on Instagram for keeping up with all of our gimmicks, like knowing when the next episode comes out and stuff like that. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter as well. If Instagram's not your thing, Twitter is also where we're getting more active on that, which is great. I will be back on tomorrow at 2 p.m. AEST, which if you now go down below, I've got the schedule set up down below. I'm not sure where it appears on the Twitch channel, but if you scroll down far enough, you should find a schedule that's then translated into your local time zone. So that'll tell you when I go live next time. That's also assuming I'm not late. Hopefully, I promise I won't get distracted by Phantasy Star Online 2 next time. I was just literally running through the onboarding process where I created a character, and as you know, in any MMO, creating a character takes some doing. Because there's a lot of thinking involved, the creativity, and oh, do I want this? Do I want that? So I did that, and then I did the tutorial missions where it's here's how to play the video game. So I did all of that, and now I'm basically it's sort of okay, you're now a level 1 scrub. Go do stuff, go play the game. So I should be able to just basically quit whenever I want, so I'm not late for the stream. Anyway, with that all being said, I will see you all tomorrow, and we're gonna do this. We're going to keep this finished. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. I don't know what's going to come after this. I don't know what kind of insanity happens after this. Pretty sure this is the end of the game. I don't know how we're going to keep playing after this. That's not true. I've got plans for Exapunks after we finish the main campaign. I want to do some other stuff afterwards. So, but for now, this has been Pint Party. Cheers.